Irvine is really interesting. I think that's the melting pot of the mission. So many different people live in Irvine. There's a big Asian presence there, and Irvine's an interesting city because it's a planned city, unlike everywhere else in the mission. You can just tell it's just so neat. There's no it's I don't know. It's just a very clean city, and it's very straight line, straight jacket kind of place. And I think that also translates to the people as well. Just so straightforward. So they'll tell you if they're interested or not, just right away. And that actually kind of saves a lot of time. That's kind of nice. It's flat compared to the rest of the mission. It's the flattest part. It's a little more inland from the coast, and so you don't have that nice ocean breeze like Dana Point or anywhere else. So there's a lot of businesses, big names like Google and Yahoo, other places, other airplane companies. A lot of, again, well-to-do people live in Irvine. I think if you definitely serve in the Irvine city, you'll have to understand the Asian culture a little bit. I'd say probably about 30% of the people are directly from Asia, and so I think that's one thing you gotta understand their culture as well as you're trying to teach them. The biggest is Korean, is the biggest presence in Irvine from the Asian culture that comes over. I think probably after that would be Japanese and then Chinese. And so being able to understand their straightforward attitudes is important, and be able to teach them that way. Understanding, because a lot of these people don't have a Christian background, then learning from Preach My Gospel, it teaches us how to teach people with non-Christian backgrounds. And that is a little more challenging because they don't have any belief of deity or God, but they all have a belief of becoming better. They all have that desire to improve. And so I think teaching towards that, teaching towards what they understand, you really have to understand their depth of knowledge when it comes to what else the plan of happiness for them is important. So that's one thing about serving in the Irvine mission, and just stateside in general, is that you'll be fed really well. And so that's important to make sure you do your exercise in the morning. That's important. You'll be eating out a lot. So fun places to see in Irvine. I honestly, it's mostly residential, and so there's nothing super cool, I think, about the city of Irvine itself. But yeah, I mean, hopefully on P-Day, your mission president will let you go to another zone for something fun. So I had one teaching opportunity, and that was we were living in an apartment complex, and our neighbor was right across the building was it was this kind of dysfunctional family that was having a lot of problems, and we were able to teach the great grandma of this family who lived just right next door from us. But missionaries had been living there for a while, and it's interesting that there was no reaching out from the missionaries prior until we got there for this family. And I think that's important. The lesson that I learned from that was don't be afraid to talk to anyone, including your next door neighbors. You're living with these people. You're living around them. You're constantly being surrounded by these wonderful people that you're meant to be there with. And so use every opportunity, including 9 o'clock as you're headed right into your apartment. Go stop by your neighbors and say hi. I think that's an important lesson I learned from Irvine.